Hey, it's Barça here, and in today's video I'm going to be discussing the big question of who should be Busquets' replacement at Barcelona. This season will probably be the last of Busquets at the club, so it's very important to have someone else to take over his role from next season onwards, and maybe in this season already too. There are also no real players like him, of course. Busquets is really one of a kind, but there are some players who are definitely suited to perform well in the defensive midfield role. Make sure to stay tuned as we go over all of the options and see which one is the best. First of all, there's Ruben Neves from Wolverhampton. The 25-year-old Portuguese has been one of the best pure defensive midfielders in the world for a while now, and has also been linked to Barca for quite some time. He's basically got everything that you look for in a defensive midfielder. He's disciplined, his defending is great, he's got great vision and passing, and he's great from long distance if he gets in the position to shoot. He would definitely fit Xavi's system, and I think that this is also the perfect time to sign him. He's 25, so he's already quite experienced, but also young enough to still have some years at the very highest level. And he's been at Wolves for a while now, but has definitely got the quality to put the next step and go to one of the biggest clubs in the world. And now seems to be the time for that next step. The only thing that you would lack with him that Busquets has is the ability to stay calm under pressure and dribble your way out. I'm not saying Ruben Neves can dribble, but he can't escape pressure the way Busquets can. Though maybe no defensive midfielder in the world is as good as Busquets when it comes to that. So Ruben Neves is definitely a viable option, and I will be very interested to see how he would do at Barca if they sign him. Next we've got Martin Zubimendi. He's 23 years old right now and plays for Real Sociedad, and at the moment he's at least one of their better players. He's great at tackling and interceptions, so with him you've got someone who will get the danger out of a lot of counterattacks. This is something that has become more important in football over the years, and it's not the strongest point of Sergio Busquets. Sometimes, like in a game at Anfield, we've lacked a player who could really put a halt to the intensive and attacking football of the opposition. That's not all though, he's technically quite good too, and he can get out of pressure with the ball on his feet and can make good progressive passes. But I do think that he's not as dangerous as Ruben Neves when it comes to passing and shooting, and he's also not on a Busquets level when it comes to not losing the ball under pressure. So on the ball he's good, but the major benefit that he would offer Barca is the fact that he can do a lot of dirty work defensively, which is great for someone like Pedri who can then focus more on the attack. And he's still only 23 years of age, so he's still got the time to improve, and who knows how good he can really become. Then there's Frenkie De Jong. Maybe the less exciting option because he wouldn't be a new player, and I think a lot of people aren't really convinced of him as a defensive midfielder. But he's never really gotten a proper opportunity there either. He's played there every once in a while, but Busquets has never not played there for more than a couple of games and has also rarely been injured. And if you look at Frenkie De Jong's qualities, it does make sense that some people don't like the idea of him playing in the defensive midfield role. One of his biggest strong points is that he's able of driving forward with the ball and break the lines. If he plays at the normal central midfield position, this is something that he can do, but if he plays in that Busquets role, he can't really do that, because you need to stay in that position in case the team loses the ball. Unless, of course, Pedri, Xavi, Cassier or whoever plays in front of him takes up that position for a moment. Then he would be able to do so, though it requires a lot of chemistry and understanding with the other players. But if they play together long enough, they can definitely make it work. And apart from that, he's got the most things that a good defensive midfielder has. He can escape under pressure, his positional awareness can improve a little bit though. He can tackle, and most importantly, his passing is incredible and he can dictate the play the way Busquets does. I've got no doubt about that. So I see him doing well in the defensive midfield role. The only thing he really needs is to be put in that role and gain experience. And that way he would also build up the necessary understanding with other players like Pedri and Xavi that might still be lacking right now. But with some more experience and chemistry, he's definitely a worthy replacement of Busquets. So those are the main options that Barcelona's got for the defensive midfield role in the future to replace Busquets. There are some other options like Nico Gonzalez when he returns from Valencia on loan. And one day he might be the Busquets type of player, but for now in the coming seasons I wouldn't put him there as the first choice yet. The question is, who would I pick as the new Busquets, you could say? Well, I would say Frenkie De Jong. I know that he's defensively probably the least reliable out of the three, but with a midfielder like Xavi in front of him who's got quite good defensive qualities and a defense behind him with players like Araujo and Koundé, that might not be the biggest problem. Defending has also never been Busquets' biggest quality, yet we won a lot of trophies with him in that position. And when it comes to the attacking side of the game, he's probably the best out of the three. He's got the best dribbling, probably the best vision and passing, and has also got the ability to drive forward with the ball, if Xavi allows him to do so as a defensive midfielder. Only when it comes to shooting, he's not the best. That one goes to Ruben Neves. And with him, you just need to agree on the right wages. You don't need to pay any transfer fee since, well, he's already your player. Economically, this is the smartest choice to make. And lastly, he's already adapted quite well at Barcelona and knows the philosophy of the club very well. Surely because he's brought up at Ajax, who've got the same values as Barcelona. This is a very underrated thing actually. A lot of new players have a difficult time adapting to Barcelona's playing style and philosophy. And this goes for Ruben Neves and Zubimendi too. With Frenkie De Jong, you're not taking the risk that he might not be able to adapt. He is already adapted. And if you think he doesn't fit at Barca, you haven't watched him, because he's had a lot of great games already. The only problem has often been consistency and finding his perfect role. Now we might have that perfect role with Busquets, who's likely to leave, and I think he's the right player for a defensive midfield role. That was it for today's video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and feel free to share your own opinion in the comments down below. Força Barça and have a good day.